Good morning, everyone. The stream is cranked up and live. We started a few minutes early just to do some technical checks here. Start in earnest very soon. All right, folks, how y'all doing this morning? We are at 1 minute past the top of the hour here. I see we have six folks joining us so far. We're going to give it about one or two more minutes to get rolling and then start. I am using a service called Restream to simultaneously stream today's presentation to both LinkedIn and YouTube. And Restream allows for some automatic posting of comments from whatever platform you're on, but I believe that LinkedIn does not allow automatic posting of comments from LinkedIn into the feed. And so I'll be monitoring comments. Please do comment if you can. And if your comments are not appearing, then go ahead and email them to itrustgene@gmail.com. I will be monitoring my email on my phone here, so that if you email your comments in, I will be able to see them. So I appreciate that. Appreciate your understanding. So we are at 11:02 right now. And so if y'all don't mind, on the stream here, go ahead and post something in the comments. Just say hello in the comments if you don't mind. And let's see if the comments are coming through on LinkedIn. Again, this is my first time using Restream as a vendor for this, and so I'm learning as I go. I don't see any comments here, but I can see the head count here for folks participating. So I know you guys are watching. Again, if you don't see your comments popping up in the comment boxes on whatever platform you are currently watching on, then please just email your comments or questions to itrustgene@gmail.com. I have that pulled up right now on my phone. I can see your questions as they come in, and I will answer them as we go through. There we go. I see some comments through coming now on LinkedIn. Woo, awesome. Technology is amazing. Lauren, awesome. Hello, how are you? Nico, how are you? Albert, how's it going, brother? If y'all don't mind, post in the comments too where you're logging in from. I'm curious as to what kind of geography we have today. I'd like to get as wide a geography as possible. Obviously, I am broadcasting to you live right now from WKRG, the newsroom in Mobile, Alabama. By way of introduction, my name is Gene Kirkconnell. I'm the news director here. I do a lot of these presentations on college campuses to journalism conferences, one-on-one with individual journalists, students, and parents who are trying to assist their students, be they in college, new career, or in high school, or some even in junior high school. They're children who have expressed interest in going into journalism and they really don't know where to start. And so I do presentations like these in a variety of formats. Today we're doing it on LinkedIn to reach the widest possible audience, and I believe via this cool technology that LinkedIn will record this, and then people will be able to also observe this in a recorded form on both LinkedIn and YouTube. And so if y'all are cool with it, let's get rolling. If you don't mind, give me a thumbs up in the comments, and just let me know if you can hear me and see me fine. And I just want to confirm the technology of it, and then we will get rolling on the content itself. So if Lauren, Nicole, excuse me, sorry, Nicole, we work with a lady here. Her goes short, Nicole, but goes short for Nico. Albert, if y'all wouldn't mind just quickly commenting that you can hear me. Okay, good. Lauren gave me a thumbs up. Awesome. So technology is good. Let's get rolling. So today's presentation is about how to make the perfect demo reel. Of course, I want to put a little bit of disclaimer on that because there are a lot of ways to make a demo reel. And if you have any exposure in the industry, if you have exposure in a media program on a college campus, if you have friends or colleagues that are in the business, everybody takes it a slightly different way. Okay, thanks, Albert. Thanks, Nicole. Appreciate it. Thanks for the thumbs up on the audio and video. And so what I'm going to offer you today is my particular take on it. But what you'll notice in the presentation are some very specific recommendations about what to do and what not to do. And again, they're coming through my lens. But the reason I'm offering this to you today, and I offer this exact format to hundreds of people regularly with only slight tweaks over the last year or two, is because it works. A lot of people coming into this process and thinking about, I need to put together a demo reel to get a job as a journalist, a television broadcaster, or some other kind of on-camera work. One of the things in their mind that they're preoccupied with is this anxiety and this fear about, am I going to get a job? And so what I would propose to you today is to relax, give yourself a break, be kind to yourself and realize that what I'm really talking about in this presentation to give you specific tips to give you an edge and help you get a leg up is less about a fear of loss or operating from anxiety about getting a job. It's really about maximizing the number of high quality job offers that you get. So you're playing a slightly different game here. Instead of playing from a position of anxiety, I would encourage you to take a breath, free yourself. Easy for me to say. I've got a little bit more experience than most of the folks on this call, I would imagine, but relax. You're going to be okay, you know? And the things that I would share with you today on how to make the perfect demo reel are things which will definitely give you an edge, which will make your demo reel more accessible to more hiring managers, will make your demo reel stand out and look different from others that are currently in play for those positions in which you have interest. And I think you'll be surprised and pleased with how it'll work for you. So let's go for what is a demo reel? Okay. Does anybody know what a demo reel is? Comment in the comments here, and let's see what you got. What actually is a demo reel? As we wait for those comments to come in, we also ask, who needs a demo reel, right? So if you have a comment about that, like who might need a demo reel, go ahead and comment in the comments. Or if you have questions as we go along, feel free to put them in there and I'll answer them right then and there as we go through the presentation. And who has a demo reel? Does anybody on this call already have a demo reel and it's less about starting from scratch and they just want to fine tune it and dial it in? If you have that situation, go ahead and comment in the comments. That will help me tailor my comments to give you more value as we proceed through the presentation. So what is a demo reel? Who needs a demo reel? If anybody on the call already has a demo reel, please let me know in the comments and I will tailor some of my comments to address perhaps some of the specific needs you have. All right. So what is a demo reel? A lot of people think a demo reel is a video resume. They think it is the way to get a job. It is a way to prove I can do TV. And in this case, it is specifically in the context of this presentation about doing TV as a journalist, a television reporter or anchor. It's a way to show that I deserve a chance. And I've also had people describe a demo reel as the story of me. It's a movie about me. Some of that is hitting true. Some of that is a little bit off the mark, right? A demo reel is not a movie. It's a trailer for the movie. Y'all have seen trailers. You know what I'm talking about. The movie is a big, long 2-hour thing, and it has everything in it. A demo reel is the trailer for the movie, and it's just the good stuff. And the movie is you. Albert, thanks for your comment. Yeah, it's a way to showcase your reporter skills and be evaluated by news directors. You hit it right on the head, sir. You are correct. And that plugs in right to what I'm explaining right here on this slide, which is it's a trailer about a movie, and the movie is you. It should be viewed as a marketing tool, and we'll fill in the blanks on that specifically as we go through the presentation and why it's a marketing tool. A trailer is a marketing tool. A movie is a piece of content, right? A marketing tool has a specific goal. You can also call it a sales tool in item number 3 here, right? You want the consumer of the demo reel to do something, right? You want them to engage with you, and as point 4 makes here, begin a conversation. The end result of that conversation you're hoping for is a job offer and perhaps a successful acceptance of a job offer in a very attractive position for which you are applying. One thing I would also say to you is what I'm recommending to you here, and what I recommend to journalists, is you have more than one demo reel. You have some people that might be interested in a particular area of coverage, and so they have some samples of their work, and they're keying in on a certain kind of coverage they like to be doing, a political reporter, a feature reporter, sort of a chat host, a weather presenter or meteorologist, maybe a sports reporter. And so if you have some specialized interest and you're applying for specialized jobs, then you're going to want to have a demo reel, which demonstrates specified knowledge and ability. But also remember, the more specific you get, the fewer jobs are available. And you want to, in order to, especially if you're a new career journalist, you're a student trying to break into the business, you want to cast as wide a net as possible. So you're going to want to have a more general assignment demo reel as well. So that requires more than one, right? A demo reel also is a hope or a wish. And the encouraging thing about this is that hope or wish is not only your hope or wish that someone will notice it, appreciate it, recognize your talent, and then interview you and make you an offer for a job. But what I can tell you is that it is also a wish and a hope on the part of a hiring manager or the news director. I myself have seen, I mean, for sure, I've reviewed thousands of demo reels. I wouldn't be surprised if I've reviewed 10,000 demo reels in my career. I've seen a lot of them. I've seen a lot of good ones. I've seen ones that weren't as strong. I've seen ones that with just a tweak or two could really be more powerful. And that's why I put this together and I offer it to folks like you. So you're not only hoping and wishing that the demo reel will result in something, but as a news director, I can speak for myself and others that I know in our industry. Every time we watch a demo reel, before we see the first second of that video, we are rooting for the person that we're about to watch on that demo reel. We want to see some magic. We want to have a connection with that person. We want to be pleasantly surprised in some ways and have our initial confidence in the prospect of that applicant to be confirmed so that we can move forward. We are really coming at the viewing of a demo reel as a news director, a hiring manager, from a position of really wanting that person to succeed. So just know from the get-go, a lot of the folks that are watching your demo reel, they are rooting for you before they even watch the first second of your demo reel, right? So that's a very encouraging thing, and it's something to play to as you put your reel together and put it out there into the world, okay? The demo reel is a tool, right? And a tool that works for you. We'll highlight some ways in the presentation where that tool can work for you while you're not even paying attention to it. You might even be sleeping and that tool is working for you, right? But a lot of times people that are putting together demo reels, they key in on number 4 here, which is they think that the demo reel is everything. No, relax a little bit more, give yourself a break, realize the demo reel is one piece of the process, right? It's an important piece of the process. And if you intend to present on camera in a capacity for a news station or any kind of media outlet, it is a required piece of the process in your application process to be evaluated to see what your craft is like in terms of gathering, shooting video, editing video, writing, and also presenting. So it's a required piece of the process, but remember, it's one piece of the process. And a lot of people are frozen as they're making their demo reels. They're perplexed, they're anxious, they're frozen because they think they have to make it perfect. You don't have to make your demo reel perfect. You have to make your demo reel the best possible version of what you can make it now. But remember, if you do another story or create another piece of content next week, you can change your demo reel and make it better. So it is not a statue of forever. It's simply a snapshot of now. So again, be kind to yourself, give yourself a break, make your demo reel the best you can possibly make it now, and then get it out into the world, depending on where you are in your application process, to be reviewed by peers, professionals, professors, colleagues, or maybe folks that you will be applying to in the future if they have capacity. And realize it's just a snapshot of now. Albert asked the question, reporters need demo reels, but what about news producers? News producers, if you have a demo reel, yes, you want to be able to display some samples of your work as a producer. Producers get hired without having a demo reel, but having a demo reel as a producer puts you in a much stronger position to be hired and to break into the business. Now, the construction of a producer demo reel is slightly different than the format I'm going to be recommending for you in this particular presentation. I have found that the most popular version of this presentation is demo reels that apply to reporters and anchors. And so that's what this keys in on. And a lot of the stuff is exactly the same, Albert, but I can follow up with you and I can give you specific tips about a producer demo reel should you decide to construct one of those and put that out into the world. So glad to follow up with you and talk about that. Again, I've said it a number of times, but the important thing to remember here is don't stress about your demo reel, okay? You can do it. You're able to do it. I have worked with students before and young journalists before who didn't even know what a demo reel was. And after I worked with them, they were able to put together a demo reel. If you've connected with me on LinkedIn, then you can look down into the recommendations at the bottom of my LinkedIn profile and you see a comment there by Aubrey. Aubrey, less than a year ago, was sitting in a college classroom and she did not know what a demo reel was. And I sat with her and explained it to her. I went through this methodology and format that I'm sharing with you today. She did it, and a week later, there were people calling her who she had not applied to and asking her to apply for their reporter jobs because they saw her demo reel in the format I'm recommending on YouTube. So don't stress. If you have a great plan and you have a great format that you have from a colleague or professor or someone else, then sure, use your particular format. But what I would say to you is the format I'm recommending today, and we'll go through in detail here, is slightly different, and I would submit slightly, in most cases, more effective, right? But how do you make the perfect demo reel? And that's why we're all here today, right? It's easier than you think, especially with the secret formula. So who wants a secret formula? I'm assuming we have thumbs up here. There's a little delay in the comments, but you wouldn't be here if you didn't want the secret formula. And so if you want it, comment, and I'm going to give it to you, right? So the secret formula to the perfect demo reel is really in the format. Applying a discipline, applying a certain methodology to gather the material for it, to put it together, to distribute it to the hiring managers, and also to make sure that it's working for you while you're away doing other things, right? The demo reel format includes key elements, and they are the length, how long should it be, what should the elements be, what should I cut out of it, how should I deliver it, and how do I make it work for me, right? The perfect demo reel length should be how many minutes long? Should it be 20 to 25 minutes long? Should it be 15 to 20 minutes long? Feel free to jump into the comments and put your guess in there. Should it be 10 to 15 minutes long, 5 to 10 minutes long, 3 to 5 minutes long, right? Obviously, depending on job classification, a producer demo reel would be slightly longer. But in the case of this multimedia journalist, reporter, anchor demo reel, how long should that demo reel be? The demo reel should be in minutes, 2 to 3 minutes long. And what I'm specifically recommending to you is 2.5 minutes long. If you have some stories, if you've done some work in courses, if you have some freelance material, or if you're a working journalist, you know that if you turn in a demo reel, rather a daily story, you're looking at a daily story around in the 1 minute 30 mark is what a lot of newsrooms shoot for. Good guess, Albert. Pretty close there at 5 minutes, but and that's what usually most of the common recommendations are, around 5 minutes. I am, however, recommending that your demo reel be really, really tight, concise, and focused. And so I specifically recommend exactly 2 minutes and 30 seconds in length, and you'll see in a second here why that particular length gets the great stuff in front of hiring managers, and it's a level of investment for a manager to watch your demo reel. And when you're able to say to a hiring manager, it's only 2.5 minutes long, magic happens, and way more hiring managers are willing to watch your entire demo reel if they know they only have to invest 2.5 minutes. So I recommend the demo reel be in length. Total running time, TRT stands for total running time of 2 minutes and 30 seconds. And so point number 2 is, what are the elements of a perfect demo reel? This is what I recommend in terms of the structure of your demo reel, the specific elements, and how long each element should be. I recommend that you have 5 elements in your demo reel. The first element is simply a hello. The second element is a montage of on-camera work, stand-ups, anchor samples, any kind of on-camera work you do. The third element should be package number 1 or story number 1. If you're not used to hearing our technical terminology for television stories, we refer to them as packages, pre-produced recorded segments with interviews, video, natural sound, and the voice of a reporter in them. So I recommend that package 1 or story 1 be 45 seconds long, package 2 be 45 seconds long, and finally you wrap up with element number 5, which is a thank you, which is 20 seconds long. You add all that up and it's 2.5 minutes. Now, if you're putting together regularly as a journalist in your coursework as a college student, freelancing, or in an active newsroom, you're putting together stories or packages which are typically 1.5 minutes long. So when you see a recommendation here for package 1 being only 45 seconds, that means that you would be editing or telescoping one of those packages, one of your better packages, down to half its length that it appeared on television. And what that does is it requires you to get rid of the fluff and only put the good stuff in, right? Remember, the demo reel is a trailer, so you're not showing big, long sections of the movie. You're only showing the car chases and the fight scenes, the action, the good stuff, right? Or the big emotional moments in it, right? So that's why we're recommending you telescope this down. I've seen recommendations before for item number 2, which is the on-camera montage. 1 minute, that's too much. You can effectively show your personality, your capability, your confidence on camera in a much tighter amount of time, and the perfect time frame for that is 20 seconds. So specifically, I'll start with that hello to give you some specific elements and types of information, right? That hello should not look like a news report. Instead, the hello of your demo reel and the thank you of your demo reel, which is the back end, should be a shot much like the one you're looking at here with me, except better. It should have slightly better lighting. You want to look really good on camera, and you want it to look like a YouTube video, because ultimately you will be posting this video on YouTube, and so you'll want it to look nicely lit. You want to be able to see 2 eyes and 2 ears looking into the camera and smiling. The hello, and the reason I recommend you put a hello on it, is it serves the purpose of an introduction. Imagine you're in a room with a bunch of news directors who want to hire you. The first thing you do is you walk up and you smile and you offer your hand and you shake the hand of the news director and you look them in the eye and you say, "Hi, my name is Lauren. My name is Albert. My name is Nicole." You introduce yourself. So the hello of the demo reel serves the purpose of introducing yourself, okay? And so you want to be able to see yourself clearly, have good connection, good eye contact, and you simply introduce yourself. There are some specific things you will say in that hello that I'll go over and in other portions of this, all right? So the hello, these are the things you need to cover in the hello. You need to cover your name, your title, either are you a working journalist or are you aspiring to be a journalist? You want to thank the viewer for watching your resume reel, and you want to disarm them with the time element. Here's the magic button that I told you about earlier and why I recommend it only be 2.5 minutes long. And then you want to tease deep, and again, you want to make it look like a YouTube video, not a newscast. So I will model it for you by way of example. "Hi, I'm Gene Kirkconnell. I'm a multimedia journalist. Thanks a lot for watching my resume reel. Don't worry, it'll take you less than 2.5 minutes to watch the whole thing. And you're going to want to stick around for my stand-up in my second story. I got to go to the Army base here in town and drive a tank, and I wasn't that good. I ran over a tree. It's kind of funny. You'll want to stick around for that. Appreciate you watching. I'll see you on the backside of the demo reel. So that is an exact example that one of the people I work with used. So she said her name, she said her title, or if you're a student and you're aspiring to be a multimedia journalist, you say, I'm applying for your multimedia journalist position. You want to thank them for watching, be friendly, and again, disarm with the time element. Hey, it'll take you less than 2.5 minutes to watch the whole thing, right? And then you want to tease deep. When I talked about the stand-up in the second story, right? That's pretty far down in the demo reel. That's 2 minutes and maybe 10 seconds in, 2 minutes into the demo reel, right? And so what you're trying to do is plant a seed and get them to stick around as long as possible. And so you have some sort of Easter egg deeper into the reel in the second story, where it's something interesting, it's a cool interview you got, it's a great piece of video you got, it's a funny stand-up, and that's an actual example that I shared with you. That young lady I work with, she got to drive a tank on an Army base, and she was a little bit awkward with it, and she ran over a tree and got it on video, and it was hilarious, and she laughed about it. And when you watch it, you laugh. So you're planting a seed for the viewer and encouraging them to stick around till later in the demo reel, which makes them watch more of the demo reel, right? The montage. A lot of people put a lot of stand-ups in their montage. Remember, this is the second element in your demo reel, and it should be 20 seconds long. Less is more. You want to put only your best stuff. You don't want to give a hiring manager any reason to think, I don't like that person on camera as much as I originally thought I liked them 10 seconds ago when I saw those first stand-ups, right? You want to pick only your best on-camera stuff with where you communicate with confidence, with cleverly, engaging, with emotion, with energy. So just take the good stuff, collapse it down to the best 20 seconds, make that your stand-up montage, and if you're able, make it specific to the gig. So again, if you're putting together a reel which is about sports reporting, if you're putting together a reel which is about political reporting, make sure that some of those stand-up examples in your montage are specific to the gig, right? I put in this last line here about titling. Some people, between each one of those 5 sections, put a little title. I would say, if you do that, make it super quick. Just 2 seconds. That's more than enough time for someone to read a couple of words on the screen. Make the words big. Remember, a lot of people are watching your demo reel on their phone, so you want to make sure that the words you use are big and they can read it quickly, and then you get them into engaging content, right? So less is more. Your stand-up montage should be 20 seconds or less, and it's only the good stuff. Again, if you have specific questions during this presentation about anything I'm saying, jump in and ask your question, and I'll answer it right then, okay? So package number 1. That's the third element in your demo reel. We've said hello. We've disarmed them with the time element. You've done a quick sample of some awesome stuff you've done on camera from varying situations and displayed it. And now you're showing that you can put together a story, a lucid story. You're displaying writing in package number 1. You're displaying shooting with a camera, a phone, a DSLR, whatever you're using to gather the material, the video, the sound, the interviews. You're showing that you can analyze the raw stuff you've gathered and whittle it down into a lucid storyline, which has a beginning, a middle, and an end. The classic story arc, right? It delivers a feeling of satisfaction. Here's the problem. People don't like people speeding in their neighborhood. They protested at City Hall and requested a stop sign. Boom. The end of the story, there's the stop sign being installed in the neighborhood, or speed bumps being installed in the neighborhood. Beginning, middle, end. Problem, quest, achieving goal, right? Make sure that whenever you put your first package in there, it's always your best story. You don't have the luxury of easing people into anything. You want to put your best stuff first. You want to whittle it down and make it shine like a diamond. 45 seconds. Telescope it down from the minute and a half or 2 minutes you originally produced for that story, right? It displays your storytelling ability, your technique, and again, make it specific to the gig. So if this particular reel is a general reel, and then make sure you use your best story. If you're doing a sports reporter reel, make sure it's a sports story if you have a really great sports story, right? Package number 2 is your second best story. Remember, you want your best stuff first, right? Your second package is slightly different. You want to be able to show a little variety. So if you're putting together a story and you want to be a hard news reporter, or it's a general assignment gig, an MMJ gig, then you're putting a really strong hard news story up at the top perhaps, but you also want to display the ability to do emotionally driven stories or do stories which are tangential to your primary interest or beat. And so it might be a good place to put something a little lighter that shows another element of your storytelling ability and show some variety in your ability, right? And also remember, you want to be able to deliver on the deep teas. Remember in the hello, you said, stick around, because in my second story on this reel, you'll see, boom, fill in the blank. Something interesting, something funny, something dramatic, something emotional, something you're proud of, something that's just evident when a hiring manager watches it. They see it and they go, oh, wow, that's cool. You've planted the seed in the hello. And so here, your demo reel, you've made them wait around, right, for that Easter egg, right? And then there it is, you deliver it, and there's a feeling of satisfaction psychologically that comes over the viewer because you promised them something in the hello, and then here you are delivering it in package number 2. You deep teased and you deliver on the deep tease in package number 2, and there's, wow, that's funny, that's cool, that's unique, that's different, right? And before you know it, you're in the thank you. You convinced them in the hello. You showed them how great you were on camera in the montage. You did story number 1. You did story number 2 and delivered on the deep tease or the Easter egg. And then here you are in the hello where you thank them for watching. So you're back on camera again. Remember, your initial framing on the hello was a shot like the one you're looking at with me, a head and shoulder kind of shot. My recommendation for the framing of your thank you on the back of the last thing, element number 5, is a slightly wider shot, because you want to be able to use YouTube to its full capacity. You want to be able to put those tiles up here, down here, or down here, and you want to be able to see, hey, thanks a lot for watching my demo reel. I hope you got a kick out of that stand-up where I ran over the tree. You know, you thank them, you're keeping it light and fun, you're back referencing the deep tease or the Easter egg that you had in story number 2. You're upbeat, you're friendly. I really appreciate your time today, and I hope you consider me for the positions you have available. If you'd like to see more of my work, click here to see a documentary I produced that won me a Student Emmy Award. Click here to see some more of my anchoring. Click here to see a special I produced for our admissions office. Click here to see some marketing videos. So you have other stuff and other longer samples of your work on your YouTube channel, and here's where you can hook them in to watching more of your stuff. Remember, we've specifically targeted this primary demo reel to be super tight, super digested, just sharp as a diamond. It shows you in the perfect light. And then if they say, wow, this person appears to be talented and might be a great match for one of our positions, then right then and there, while they're watching the video on their phone, you want to be able to say, click here to see this, click here to see that, click here to see that, click here to see that, and they can touch that tile on their phone and immediately watch more of your work. You've transitioned them into a larger, longer conversation with you and are able to demonstrate more of your capabilities with a second video. Does that make sense to everybody? If it does, give me a thumbs up in the chat. I'd appreciate it. Make sure y'all just let me know you're still with me, you're still following along. If you have any questions, ask, but if you don't mind at this point in the presentation, just give me a thumbs up in the chat to make sure we're still connected. You're still getting value here as we move through the remainder of the presentation, which is going to be coming up. We'll move fast here. That's the big chunk of it, right? So we've covered the length, 2.5 minutes long. We've covered the elements. There's 5 things in a demo reel. There's the hello, there's the montage, there's package number 1, there's package number 2, and there's the thank you. All right, Lauren, thanks. We're still connected here. Y'all can still hear and see me, and you're still getting value. I'm glad. I want to deliver the value to you guys. All right, but what should you cut from a demo reel, right? Nicole, thanks so much. Appreciate it. There's something that a lot of people recommend you put into your demo reel that I specifically recommend you do not put in your demo reel. It's not a deal killer, but it is an excuse for a lot of hiring managers to click away, right? So what's missing from this list? If you want to put a guess in the comments, please put a guess in the comments. Remember, we got the hello, we got the on-camera montage, we got package 1, package 2, and the thank you. 99.9% of the demo reels out there have something else in the demo reel, but here today, I'm specifically telling you, suggesting strongly, do not put that element in your demo reel. What might you think that element is? Let's see. Albert says he's a production assistant at a news station in Memphis. Awesome, Albert. And you want to become a reporter? One of my colleagues suggests you start as a photographer and get used to the pace of day turns. Good idea or no? What's your take? Albert, if you don't have experience putting packages together, you're already in a news station, man, good for you, dude. You've broken in, you're on the inside. You've gotten behind the curtain. You can see all the secrets. You see what happens on a daily basis. If you have the opportunity to get out into the field and build some skill as a photojournalist, gathering material, asking questions, putting storylines together, collaborating with other people to put those stories together. If that's where you are on your growth arc, that is a good step toward becoming a reporter or an MMJ. You are building core skills. You're building the skills of savvy and awareness on scene when you get there to gather material. You're building your confidence in being able to approach people and talk to people when you're gathering information on the scene, and you're building your craft, shooting, editing, writing, and all that kind of stuff. Hey, Denise, how are you today? Yes, everything I've mentioned so far with the demo reels would be applicable to anchors as well. So if you're looking at the demo reel elements here and you're specifically applying for an anchor position, right? Then what you say in the hello would be slightly different. Your on-camera montage would slightly be different, because you would want to put in some more examples of anchoring in different contexts in that on-camera montage, right? And then number 3 and number 4, I recommend, if you're applying for an anchor position, instead of package number 1, you put in a sample of your anchoring, and it would be slightly longer, right? If you're specifically applying for an anchor position, perhaps it's the A block of a newscast. Now, depending on where you're currently working, if you're in school somewhere, or if you're at a station, you might already have some samples of your anchoring. So you might want to put a story treatment, maybe the first 2 to 4 minutes of a newscast. If you had a particularly big day with breaking news and a couple of live shots and some maps and graphics and choreography in the studio where you were moving around and you were delivering material about a longer story treatment, and it looked really good and was produced very well, and your energy was great and you feel really good about it, then in the place of package number 1, you would want to put an anchor sample instead of package number 2. Now, depending on what the anchor job is for which you're applying, would determine what element number 4 on this list of stuff is. If you're applying for an anchor job which also requires you to report, then you're going to want to put your best package as element number 4 to demonstrate not only that I can anchor, but I can also report, because all of the anchors in our newsroom anchor and report. Even if you're a mainline anchor, you're also doing packages in some form or another. And that is the case in many, many places. If you are applying for an anchor job which does not require reporting, it's because of whatever, the shift, or maybe in some stations, some smaller stations or mid-sized stations, folks who anchor are also required to occupy a producer or an executive producer role. And instead of spending time in the field doing field stories, they spend more time in the station guiding the production of those shows. Sure, absolutely, Denise. Glad to help. Ask any other questions you're curious about. Jump right in. I'm glad to add value in the specific areas for which you're looking information. So for anchor reels, instead of package one, put an anchor sample there. And then if the position you're applying for is anchor/reporter, make sure you deliver at least one package in the number 4 slot here, so that you can demonstrate both anchoring ability and reporting ability. So hope that helps. Great question, Denise. Thanks so much. Albert, also great question about making that transition from a behind-the-scenes role to perhaps an on-camera role. Okay, so to return to this question here, is like, what is missing from this list? You have a hello, you have an on-camera montage, you have package 1, package 2, thank you, or in the case of anchor, you might have in slot number 3, anchoring sample, or if you're applying for a meteorologist role, maybe you have a weathercast in there in position number 3. Right? A full weathercast to show your forecasting ability and presentation ability. So, or a sportscast. You might be a sports anchor reporter, right? So you can plug that other primary element in there that applies to your specific gigs for which you're applying into slot 3, and then put your best package in slot number 4. So the format works really for any position. It's just tailored a little bit differently for the particular position for which you're applying. So the original question here is, here's the list of stuff that I recommend. The whole reel is 2.5 minutes long. If it's an anchor segment, maybe that anchor segment in slot number 3 makes it a little bit longer. But for the sake of conversation here, MMJs, if you're applying for an MMJ job, news reporter, sports reporter, feature reporter, this is the format I recommend. And there is something not on this list that anybody in the business has used before to get a job, or tried to get a job, or is currently being told by somebody in the business or in their coursework to put. What's missing? There's the list again. Hello, on-camera montage, package 1, package 2, and thank you. Here's what's missing: the slate. What is a slate? I recommend you do not put a slate on your resume reel. Typically a slate, what is a slate if you don't know what a slate is? A slate is a full screen graphic. Most of the time it has a picture of a smiling applicant. It has their name and their title and some contact information on it, right? And typically there's 30 seconds of music playing underneath it, right? But the slate is not needed, because the way you're going to get my attention, right, and get hired by me is, if you're applying to me, you've already emailed me, you've already applied on the corporate website, you've already sent your resume to me in electronic form on my computer. If you came in for an in-person interview, you probably also delivered a hard copy of your resume to me, right? So I have your resume, I have your contact information, I know who you are. Even if I don't know who you are, you don't want to put the slate as the first thing in your reel, because it is an excuse to click away. I would ask you to think about any YouTuber that you watch. Who are the most popular YouTubers you watch? Do any of them start their YouTube video that has 1 million views on it with a 30-second still graphic with Skrillex playing underneath it? You might like EDM music, that's totally cool, but 30 seconds of a still frame with music playing underneath it is a waste of the hiring manager's time, and in some cases it is an excuse to turn away and do something else and lose their focus on you, right? So when you post your video on YouTube, right, You want to include your contact information. That's the purpose of a slate, is how does someone contact you, right? But put it in the description of the video, right below the video on YouTube. You don't want to make the hiring manager sit through 30 seconds of a graphic and not be showing your good stuff, right? Albert's right. You don't see any YouTubers, right? They have a thumbnail, but not a slate. The thumbnail is a different marketing tool to catch your eye and make you click. But once you click, man, you go right into the good stuff. So we want to structure your resume reel, not like a resume reel with a slate on it from years ago. The history lesson here is you probably don't know if you're less than 40 years old. People used to put their resume reels on actual physical tapes, put them in an envelope with a paper resume, and mail them to a news director. So a news director would open the envelope, would put the resume reel into a tape player, would look at the paper resume and hit play on the resume reel. And the first thing that popped up was a slate. The reason a physical tape had a slate on it with name, title, email, or not back then, but address, phone number, right? The reason the tape or the DVD, great point, Albert, had the slate on it was because, let's say a news director was looking at your reel from a tape and looking at your hard copy of your resume, and then they set your resume on their desk. And right when they were watching your resume on the tape player or the DVD player, someone walked into their office and said, "Hey, we got breaking news. We need you." They stand up from their desk, they hit pause on your tape, and they start to move away from their desk, and maybe their leg brushes your hard copy paper resume, and it slides off and falls under the desk or goes into the trash can. And then while that news director's busy handling breaking news, the trash gets empty. If back in the day on your physical tape or physical DVD, if you didn't have the slate, they didn't know how to contact you, because your resume and your tape were two separate physical things. In the world of electronic media, we don't have that problem. So how do you make sure that they can contact you? Put the contact information in the description of your video, right? You want your name there, you want your title, either your current title or your aspirational title. Maybe you're a student aspiring to be an MMJ, or you're in the business as a producer and you want to move up to MMJ. Put your aspirational title. The position for which you will be applying should be the title that you put there, right? Your email address, and you might want to even put your physical address, right? That's not crucial. I do not recommend putting your phone number on YouTube in any form in the description, specifically for females. Your resume reel will be on YouTube, and you don't want, frankly, creeps getting your phone number and calling you. The purpose of delivering your contact information to a hiring manager is so they can call you and say, "Saw your resume reel, love your stuff, let's talk about a job I have open." And what's crucial here is when you put your resume reel on YouTube, it will be able to get in front of people who you have not applied to yet. That's the wonder of YouTube. And if you construct the reel correctly and do the things I've recommended to you so far, and which I will recommend to you shortly and wrap up on the presentation, then you will get calls from people who have jobs open, and you don't even know those jobs are open. You haven't applied for them yet. But I do not recommend you put your phone number on in the description of YouTube of your resume reel, okay? And I don't recommend that you do a slate, right? Again, put it in the YouTube description. If you must put it on the actual resume reel, then maybe do a little email address lower third. Maybe pop, if you have the ability in your editing to put your name up, and then just do a little rack and have your email address pop up there in the lower third. That's totally cool. If you really think you got to have a slate, put it at the end. But again, I don't recommend you put your phone number on it, right? And if you must have a phone number, or you want to do a cool sidebar way to put a phone number there, go out to Google Voice and get a Google Voice phone number which is not your real phone number on your cell phone, right? And set up a Google Voice telephone number and set it up so it rings to your cell phone, right? So people out there, you don't want to have your real phone number, can call the Google Voice number and ring through to your cell phone. And if you know them, you can answer it because you see who it is, right? You see the number and you know, oh, that's the number of that news director in California I applied to. Or if you don't answer, Google Voice will record the voicemail and send it to your phone, and you can review who it is and call them right back, right? The other thing I recommend is all of your contact info that you're emailing to people with whom you have a dialogue about positions. Don't just type an email response on your phone with your thumbs and it's all one block of text, right? And it's just your first name. Make sure you have a signature on every email, and that signature should include your name, your aspirational title, your email address, a phone number. Remember, the email is going to somebody whom you trust and you want to call you, a phone number, and you want an active URL link to your primary resume reel. Again, your signature in every email should include your name, your title, your email, your phone number, and an active URL link to your primary resume reel, right? Every email you send, because some of the emails you send will be to people whom have not seen your resume reel yet, and you want them to click and be able to easily, with one click, go get it, right? So discipline your email game to always have those things: your name, your title, your email, your phone number, and an active URL to a YouTube URL where your resume reel is. So no slate, contact information on every email, contact information, no phone number in the description, contact information with phone number in every email. If you have questions about that, then ask me. Albert makes a point here and says one thing he's learned in a short time in the business: the resume reel is an application. That is one of the purposes we talked about. Yeah, it's a great way to get in. When you post your reel on YouTube and a news director contacts you for an interview, more than likely you have a job before it is even posted. That is Albert, you're reading my mind, dude, because that's where we're going. That's exactly where we're going right now. We talked about length. Your resume reel should be 2 minutes and 30 seconds long, and I explained why you should do it. We explained the 5 elements it should have. We explained that it does not need a slate, and how should you deliver your resume reel. There's one way to do it. Don't require anybody to download it. Don't make somebody go to a portfolio that your college advisor made you create. You might have had to create the portfolio website and for a grade. That's totally cool. Still put all your stuff there, but do not send a news director to a portfolio site, because I can tell you 50 to 60% of the time when an applicant sends me to a portfolio site, it doesn't work. The links are broken. It doesn't have a good load time because it's a cheap or free web provider that they're using. It doesn't display properly on main computers and on phones. So portfolio sites, if they're recommended by people with whom you have coursework, make them and get an A on it, right? Or if you own a website that you have, go ahead and put all your stuff on the website. You want to have all electronic media working for you. But when you deliver a URL to a hiring manager, there is only one way to do it. It must be a YouTube URL. And the reason for this is corporations do not allow a lot of people to download big files from emails. Sometimes news directors are blocked from downloading big files from a Dropbox, right? Vimeo, although it's a great service and it has high quality, it's just not as ubiquitous and trusted as YouTube. So the other element of YouTube is the largest video search platform in the world. It is the second largest search platform in the world, second only to Google. by putting your resume reel on YouTube, formatting it in the way I've recommended, and doing a few other things that we'll cover here shortly before we sign off, YouTube will put your video resume reel in front of hiring managers before you have applied to their jobs. Look, if you haven't connected with me on LinkedIn, connected with me on LinkedIn, connected with me on my other platforms, look at the recommendations in my LinkedIn profile at the bottom and read Aubrey's recommendation. I explained to Aubrey, who didn't know what a resume reel was, how to make a resume reel. She made one. She did put it on YouTube, and hiring managers started calling her and asking her to apply to jobs she did not know existed. They were motivated by the fact that her resume reel was super tight and included many of the elements I recommend to you in this format, in this strategy, in the secret formula, right? And she included the metadata so that YouTube was working for her and putting her stuff in front of people while she was sleeping. That's why YouTube is the only way to go. If you have questions about that, let me know. YouTube is ubiquitous. Everybody knows how to use it. It's safe. You can get to it from a work desk, and a lot of businesses prohibit you from downloading attachments that your email, if you have a big video file on it, won't even make it through to the news director. So don't risk your message not getting through to a hiring manager. Instead, all you need is the YouTube URL, and it should be everywhere, right? Especially in these places. You need if you don't have this done right now, you need to immediately do it. Reformat your resume, and your resume, the top of your resume needs to be your name, the same stuff I suggested you put in your email signature and in the description of your video. Your name, your aspirational title, your email address. In the case of your resume, you're sending it to someone you trust. So if it's going to be displayed online, don't display a phone number. If it's not displayed online, do put the phone number in, so when you submit it in an application or send it to a hiring manager, you have your phone number in there. And make sure to include a clickable URL to your primary resume reel. I can't tell you the number of times that people have applied to me and they've sent me a resume, they've applied on the corporate website, they've sent me an email, right? And nowhere on the corporate application, on their resume, or in any of the emails they send me, is there a URL connecting me to their resume reel. You don't want the person you're trying to get a job with to have to work and troll the internet trying to find your resume reel. Make it super easy. So just discipline yourself. YouTube URL is the only way to do it. It's in your resume. It's in every communication that you use, and you're cross-promoting your YouTube resume reel on all your platforms with that active URL. If you have questions about that, jump in, let me know. Again, so we've covered the length. It's 230 elements. The 5 elements are hello, stand-up montage, package 1, package 2, and thank you. How to deliver it? There's one way to deliver it, YouTube. That's it, right? How do you make it work for you? There's other elements of YouTube. Don't just stick your resume reel on YouTube. You want to get into YouTube on your YouTube channel. Everybody who wants to be a reporter's got to have a YouTube channel, because that's where you put your stuff. And that's where the world can find it and call you and offer you amazing opportunities, right? So you want a professional YouTube channel. And when you post a video, you want to make sure that you dig under the hood and in the creator's view of YouTube, there's places to plug in keywords and descriptions, and you want to make a good thumbnail. You want to have tags in there. You want to make sure that all of that metadata, all that text that makes your video resume reel searchable is under the hood in all those little boxes that are available to you to plug it in. Don't just put the resume reel up there and leave everything blank. Take the 45 seconds that it takes to fill it out and be strategic about filling it out, right? You want to include the word reporter, anchor, journalist, resume reel, television, broadcasting, digital media, any of those big keywords. You want to make sure they're in there and use every available box in the YouTube metadata, fill them all in so that once you upload, YouTube is working to put your resume reel in front of hiring managers while you are sleeping. I keep circling back to Aubrey as an example because Aubrey just graduated 3 or 4 months ago, right? She didn't know what a resume reel was. I saw her in a classroom and I explained this is what a resume reel is, and I shared with her this information I'm sharing with you. She made a resume reel. She followed the instructions. She put it on YouTube, and less than a week later, she was getting multiple calls from all over the country from news directors saying, please apply to my station for a reporting job. That is the miracle of this format, the discipline of using it, and YouTube working for you, right? What you want to do is do it that way. So as point number 4 makes here in this slide, your reel, I'm looking at someone else's resume reel who's applied to me, and I'm watching it on YouTube, right? And then your resume reel, I've never met you, I don't know who you are, and your resume reel pops up in the right rail and is recommended to me by YouTube. And I go, oh, who's that MMJ? Who's that reporter? Who's that anchor? And I click on it and I go, wow, Denise is amazing. I have got to email her. And you have all your information displayed as I recommend. And boom, I email you. Denise, saw your resume reel on YouTube. Looks like you posted it 2 weeks ago and you're looking for a gig. I just happen to have a gig available right now. Email me. I'd love to talk. It happens all the time with the people that I consult and I advise on this stuff. So it's cool. It'll work. I recommend you use it. Those are the 5 important things about the format. The length is 230. The elements are 5 elements. It's hello, stand-up montage, package number 1, package number 2, goodbye, or thank you. Don't use a slate. Use YouTube. Make sure you fill out all the metadata on YouTube, right? Remember, it's short. How do you make that perfect demo reel? We're wrapping it up now. It's short. Only the best stuff. Total running time, 2 minutes and 30 seconds or less. Less is more. On your hello and on your thank you, you want to be upbeat. You want to smile. Remember, the hello and the goodbye is as if you were speaking to the person in person. You're walking up to them in a gathering of hiring managers at a job fair and you're saying, hi, I'm Steve. Hi, I'm Gladys. And you're shaking their hand and smiling and you're engaging in a conversation. You're disarming them and getting them to watch the reel, right? And recognize that the audience that you're playing to on YouTube is not a newscast audience, right? It's a hiring manager. So you're not trying to put on a little mini newscast for your resume reel. Instead, you're trying to create a trailer for a movie, just the good stuff. And the movie is you. The resume reel is the trailer for the movie. It's just the good stuff. It's tight. It shines like a diamond, puts you in the best light. And the movie is you. You're inviting the hiring manager to watch the movie, or in this case, email you, call you, begin a conversation. And remember, do not sit on your hands worrying about making the perfect resume reel and putting it off for 6 months and not getting job offers because you don't have anything out there. Whatever you have today, stand up example wise, anchor example wise, package example wise, put together the best resume reel you can and put it out there. And people will call you, right? Doesn't have to be perfect, and make sure you have the link to your URL everywhere. Let's see, Albert has another comment here. Some college professors say you need portfolio sites, long resume reels, long montages. This presentation here kills the myth of what you need to get a job in television and move up a job in television. Hey, Albert, thank you for the kind words. I really appreciate that, brother. Again, I don't want you to, if you're in coursework right now, if you're in a college, your professors are trying to do right by you, right? They're trying to give you the best advice available. But what I have developed in this format here over the years in every 3 or 4 months. I'm tweaking it, I'm dialing it in, I'm dialing it in, I'm dialing it in. I've had the benefit of seeing thousands of resume reels and applications, if not 10,000 of them over the years, right? And so I just have had more reps than a lot of college professors, not all, but what I'm saying is that approach this in a way where you recognize what right now in real time in our industry today and for the next 6 months or a year is the perfect way to present your resume reel to, again, remember what the objective is. Lainey, oh, I'm so glad to see you. Lainey is an example of a young person who worked with me several years ago, really bought into it, dove in, and she is just coming into her own big time. What a success story. We're super proud of you. Great to see you on the call today, Lainey. Thank you for the kind words. You want the resume reel, number one, to be effective and produce the result that you want, which is multiple engagements from hiring managers, multiple high quality job offers, right? And in order to do that, it's got to be tight, great, effective, hit on some psychological and sales and marketing points, show you in your best light. And also, the reason I'm recommending this specific format is because it's different than 99% of those people who are putting resume reels in front of hiring managers. So your resume reel is going to be memorable, right? The reason I know that that's true is I have had people call me about people who intern with me, about people who know me and ask me for advice and an introduction to someone who's hiring, or students whom I've advised, right? And I've had news directors who didn't know that I made these specific recommendations about a resume reel to a candidate. The news director didn't know that I had presented that candidate and coached them on using this specific format, right? And I've had those news directors call me for a reference and time again comment about, wow, her resume reel was awesome, man. It was different. It was tight. I watched the whole thing. It was quick. It was really well edited. She kind of led me through a story with the hello and the setup and, got me on the back end. And then she used the tile and I clicked on another video. So I've had news directors tell me, not knowing that I was the one that gave the format to that candidate, that they loved the way the candidate had done their resume reel, right? So these are the things that work for me to get my attention and get you to the front of the line. And I've had news director after news director, candidate after candidate tell me what you told me flat out worked. So that's the reason I'm sharing it with you. And again, there's 100 ways to do it. Use what works for you. But in the absence of a specific disciplined, really dialed in plan, I would encourage you, just try what I'm offering. And if you've got a better way to do the whole thing or any element of it, I request, please share it with me, because I'd like to learn from your experience, bake that into the model, and then share it with other people like you and other folks that come forward. So that's the secret formula for the perfect demo reel. I hope you've gotten some value today. I welcome you all to engage in a conversation with me and keep this going. You see on your screen right now the most effective way to begin a conversation with me and to continue to get value, right? I also thought this is a PowerPoint demonstration or presentation with a lot of slides in it. But what I can do for you guys, if you would like it, I'm glad to do it. Email me at itrustgene@gmail.com. Again, itrustgene@gmail.com. What I will do is I will boil down the main points of this in like a one sheet. So you can just print it or keep it on your desktop or phone and just refer to it, so you don't have to go back and dig through the whole presentation, right? So just email me at itrustgene@gmail.com. By next week, I'll boil this down into like a cheat sheet or just the top stuff or an outline. And that way you can print it out and you can have that handy as a reference while you're sitting there gathering stuff, or putting your reel together, right? Denise, I'm glad to engage in a Denise asks, forgive my ignorance, but do you offer one-on-ones? Yes. I mean, I'm an active news director. I'm running a newsroom. I'm taking my lunch hour right now to deliver this presentation to you guys because number one, as Lainey points out here, Lainey and I worked together in a previous station, and now Lainey, I've moved on. Lainey's moved on. She's being very successful. I appreciate you, Lainey, saying you learn from me. So yes, the one-on-ones that I do, I'm doing mixed in with my current day duties here. I'm glad to chat with you and learn a little bit more about what your career goals are, what you'd like to achieve, and do a chat with you. So again, for that purpose as well, Denise, if you don't mind, just the easiest thing to remember is that email screen. The email on your screen, itrustgene@gmail.com. Everyone on the presentation today, again, before you hang up and go about your business, I would encourage you, just email me at itrustgene@gmail.com to begin a conversation. I have some other stuff. I have some other videos on my YouTube channel. And depending on what your current needs are, I can point you towards some other resources. Again, I'm also offering to send you the one sheet, the cheat sheet on the secret formula for the perfect demo reel. I'll email that to y'all next week, but I need a way to get it to you. So send me your email. Just email me at itrustgene@gmail.com. Tell me if you got value today, if you enjoyed it, and then tell me a little bit about what your goals are. And I'm glad to then follow up with you and send you that material, send you those additional resources, send you those other ideas. And if needed, specific to you, Denise, glad to chat with you as well. Let you pick my brain or find out a little about where you're going, what you want to do, and perhaps add value in a phone call as well. I've really enjoyed being with you guys today. I really appreciate you being so attentive, putting a lot of comments in there. Phenomenal questions we had today, really propelled the conversation forward. And again, this is just one aspect of what I offer to journalists and to students. And the other people that I typically deal with, again, are parents whose children are in college and trying to figure out how to break into the business, or parents whose children are deciding how do they go about getting into the business. Where should I go to college? What should I major in? What is the industry like nowadays? How do I get experience? I have a lot of conversations, not only with journalists, with aspiring journalists who are in college and about to get into the business, but I also have a lot of conversation with parents who are trying to assist their students in college, in high school, in middle school to answer questions and help their children decide on a course of action which would position them in the most strongest way possible to have a great experience wherever they are in life in learning some of these skills. And you don't have to wait till you get to college to start learning some of this stuff. You can start when you're in elementary school. I mean, every elementary school has those little morning announcements at school, right? Middle school has it, high school has it. So that's one way to do it. But glad to have conversation with parents. So if you know friends in the business, friends in school, friends or siblings or parents that you know out there that are kind of fumbling around trying to find info, give my email to them, let them contact me. And I recommend that you do the same. Before you leave this, please email me at itrustgene@gmail.com, and I will send you that cheat sheet for how to make the perfect demo reel, and any specific questions or things you're curious about, put it in the email, and I'll follow up with you by email and or phone call if you want to do a chat. It's been a blessing to spend time with you guys today. You've been super encouraging to me. I always like to wrap up these things and know that I've added value. So if you don't mind doing me a favor, before you sign off, in the comments there, if you've gotten one thing that you're going to be able to use as you move forward, would you mind putting that in the comments and letting me know what specific thing you learned today that's you think is going to be of help to you as you move forward in your career quest? It helps me because I can read those comments. I can understand better what's connecting with people. If I'm not connecting on some things, I will change my presentation to better deliver value to people. So I'll hang here for another couple of minutes while you guys are putting in those comments and while you're emailing me at itrustgene@gmail.com your connection. But if you don't mind, just put in the comments here, just one little takeaway that you got of value. That'd be super helpful to me and help me to make it even better the next go around that I have. And also, if you think this was a good idea, if you think it was a good investment of your time, I'm willing to do more of these on LinkedIn and YouTube down the road here. And so I'm looking for possible ideas on what I might do. You might want to go to my YouTube channel and see some of the stuff I've already done. If you have a specific need, feel free to put that in the comments as well, and I'll check it out, and maybe I can tailor one of those future presentations. And the other thing that would help me greatly is if you have friends in the industry, if you have friends at school, if you have friends just in life, in your personal life, that you think can benefit from this kind of material, behind the scenes, behind the curtain, get rid of all the myths. What's it really like? What do you really need to do? If you know people who could benefit from that, please give them my email address, encourage them to reach out to me. I do a lot of this. I like to do it. I like to help people. And so I'd like to connect with you and help you at a further capacity if I can. And I'd like to help the other people that you have or know in that respect. So if you don't mind, help me out, put some comments in there. What did you hear today that you're going to be able to use going forward? If you'd like me to address another thing in the future, put it in the comments there. That would help me a lot. So that's the presentation today. Again, connect with me on social media. You can see me on the YouTube channel. You can see me on LinkedIn. This is that recommendation from Aubrey that I mentioned to you about her experience in dialing in her resume reel. There's a lot of other great stuff on the YouTube channel, like how to crush it in your first 90 days on the job. You're considering a career in print versus TV. What about journalists and mental health? What about sports reporting? How do television ratings work? There are all these videos on my YouTube channel that you can check out. And I'm going into a phase now where I'm updating a lot of those videos with the most current information. So you want to, if you don't mind, smash that bell so you get notified when I put up a new video, and connect with me on LinkedIn, because this was a great experience for me. I hope it was for you. And I'll be doing more of these presentations live on LinkedIn and on Facebook in the months to come. So I'd love your input about what you're looking for, what your friends are looking for, and what I can do. That's the end of today's presentation. I'll sit here and watch the comments here for anything else that you might be curious about. Again, email me at itrustgene@gmail.com with your needs, with your contact information. I'll follow up with you, and by sending me an email, I can then hit reply and attach the one sheet, the cheat sheet, to give you the small version of, or the easy and handy and easy to get through and utilize version of the overview of how to make the perfect demo reel from today's presentation. I'm glad to email that to you guys. Albert writes, the TRT of the demo reel and the elements, the YouTube page instead of the portfolio page. These are things of value that he got from today's presentation. Very good detail. Albert, thank you so much for sharing that. So yeah, the TRT of 230 in a demo reel is different than most of the recommendations I see from everybody. And again, having a demo reel of that length disarms the viewer, the watcher, the hiring manager, and says, oh, I got 2.5 minutes. I'll watch that. And you can get them all the way through your good stuff. The YouTube page instead of the portfolio page. And again, if you're a student and you're being told by a professor to make a portfolio page for a grade, I'm not saying to say, Gene said, don't do that. Don't get your professor mad at me. Go ahead and make the portfolio page and get your A. But you've got to have a YouTube channel, and YouTube should be your primary distribution method for your demo reels and your work samples. Albert continues, this is a great lesson, and I learned a major secret in the industry. Thanks. Oh, Albert, you're so welcome, and thank you so much for your kind words. That makes me feel great. I do a lot of these presentations, and I'm glad when I'm able to connect and provide value, and I'm so happy that you got a handful of really specific things that you're going to be able to act on. Man, keep me updated on your journey. I'd love to hear about your successes. And again, everybody on the call, email me at itrustgene@gmail.com, and I will email back to you the short version of this presentation, so you don't have to dig through the entire PowerPoint deck. It's a one-pager of the important points about how to make the perfect demo reel. So super cool. Really enjoyed spending time with you guys. Be blessed. Follow me on those platforms. I'll follow you back, and be looking for additional presentations like this in the very near future, specifically on LinkedIn and on YouTube for sure. And again, if you want to connect with me one-on-one, the best way to start that conversation is itrustgene@gmail.com. Thanks so much for joining me today, guys. Success. Be blessed. See you soon.